So I decided to call this part Redux because I'd like to revisit some elements in the previous video that I wasn't satisfied with. This is the first thing I would like to talk about, so let's just go ahead and pause it. For some reason I called this the shadow layer the last time, but I guess a better term is pre-shading. Anyway, I chose for some reason to pre-shade the model differently than what I had actually planned. Not sure why, but maybe the pressure of knowing I was filming myself got to me. Anyway, my plan was to pre-shade the outer edges of the panels and also to follow the seams and natural lines of the model. As you can see, I did the complete opposite. Of course, this is easily fixed by applying a new layer of black and coloring over it with a mix of grey. However, I made a second boo-boo and that one is not quite as easily fixed, so let's unpause and move on. I guess it's not immediately clear what's wrong, but let's pause it and have a look. So this one comes down to inexperience, I guess. As I haven't airbrushed that much, I'm definitely still learning, and what happened here was that as I was airbrushing, some of the paint was drying in mid-flight, hitting the surface either fully dried or close to it, and the result is a sandy and rough surface, and definitely not what you like for the next stages of weathering and so forth. There are tons of advice on Google on what to do, and I chose the path of least resistance, and I opted for mixing my paint with some of Tamiya's paint retarder. The theory is that if paint takes longer to dry, this issue should be less prevalent. So let's unpause and get on with it. First up is of course the priming. Keep in mind that I've already washed all the parts with hot water and soap to remove any greasy residue, either from handling or from the factory. I used to have some clogging issues when I used Vallejo surface primer straight from the bottle, so for priming I now use a mix of things. It is basically 60% Vallejo surface primer, 10% Vallejo flow improver and 30% Tamiya acrylic thinner. Time to address that second boo-boo, the rough and sandy surface. To combat this, I am extending the drying time with some Tamiya paint retarder. I wish I had a precise paint to retarder mixing ratio for you. I know they say 10:1, but I think mine is a bit on the strong side, as in I used more retarder. However, it seems to have had little or no adverse effect. And here, addressing the first mistake, I'm pre-shading outside all the panels and along the seams and edges. So the color I chose is an unknown mix of Tamiya's XF2 flat white and XF53 neutral grey. I thought I'd written down the ratio, but unfortunately it turned out I had gotten it all wrong. This time I tried something new. I upped the PSI on my airbrush and sprayed a Vallejo matte varnish straight from the bottle. No dilution, and it actually worked great. That's it for this time. Thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button for more of this build and future builds that I take on.